Welcome to the shop. My name is Chris, and we're going to be doing some overhauling of the shop a little bit. We've got a new miter saw, so it needs a little better home than its temporary spot there. But with that, we're going to be doing some upgrade. Going to get it some proper electrical run, touch some things up behind me, a new bench top. So stay tuned. Over here you can see the radial arm saw and the temporary miter station is gone. If we go along, you can see that all the tools have been taken down, everything's been cleaned up. And tonight we are starting what'll be the miter station build. So far, painted the walls, redid the electrical entirely for this side, and now it's time to take what was and has served its purpose as a really nice tool bench and turn it into a little bit better woodworking bench. And by that I mean we're going to add, in my case, melamine to the top of it and lift it up 3/4 of an inch to give it a sacrificial top. And then we're going to do some other things for the miter part we'll show you later. So we'll go ahead and cut one of these sheets. I'm using an Avanti 60 tooth fine finish blade for this. It's the best I've got here. I didn't want to use my CMT 24 tooth just because that's for ripping more than anything else. I watched a few videos on tape versus no tape, and it said more that the blade made a difference than the tape. So I guess we're gonna go no tape on this first run and see what happens. So again, I can always put the chip part against the wall, even run a little piece of trim over it if I want to and hide it. So that's why we're gonna give it a shot. You don't learn unless you try stuff. So here we go. Real quick, what I've done is, yes, I'm gonna feed it right off the truck and right on through the blade. Plenty of outfeed table. The reason I'm doing this is I don't have anything 8 feet long to rip it with a circular saw, nor do I have a good circular saw with a good blade. I'm comfortable I can handle this. And that's the width I want in a full 8 feet to go on that 12-foot bench. So we're gonna give it a shot. I'm going to say that didn't go as smooth as I had hoped, but it did get the job done. This is not the side we're using. This is. I can say the edge is clean, so that is good. This is an extra piece. Okay, don't do that. So I'm going to move this over here. We'll get it in position, at least take a look and see what it's going to look like. I'm not really fastening anything down for today. I'm just kind of getting an idea where it goes. So give me 1 sec, I'll get it moved over and we'll take a look at it. I've got it into place. Maybe we'll add some light. Does that help? No? Maybe it's better off. Okay, any case, this melamine has two sides. They look very similar, but I did flip it over. The reason being, this side is a little bit textured, and this side is smooth. I want smooth for boards I'll be putting on here, sliding, things like that. So I'm still not sure if I'm gonna do this section or if I'm just gonna leave it tool bench down here at the end. We're going to find out how much melamine we have left because I have to build the miter station yet also. So I'll probably have enough, but we're going to wait and check on that. There's also a strip here that doesn't have the laminate on it. And if I was going to add over here, I think I would cut that strip off and so forth. So in any case, we'll get to that down the road. I've got it the same distance out on both sides. I've measured off the wall because we do have an electrical conduit right here. So I'm going to show you how we're going to take care of that here. I'm just taking it all the way in until we touch the wall on both sides. So we've touched the wall. Okay. Try to push in any that we can. That's about it right there. We're going to go over here. Close that and look. There's our markings. And I'm just gonna trace this out, cut it with one of my tools, and it should go right up against the wall there. So here's what I'm gonna tell you. It would have taken me forever, well not forever, a little while to get out my jigsaw, make sure the right blade's on at the right setting, make this little cut, and I would have botched it up because I'm not very good with my jigsaw yet. Need practice. So I just grabbed the Japanese saw. We'll just make a straight line here like it says. Okay, probably a little deeper than we need to be, but that's okay. Now, the coping saw. So here's my thought. We got just this little bit of an overhang here, perfect down here. So what, and we're fine right on the end here. We're at the furthest point out. So what can we do to make it perfect down here? Well, I cut the little piece back here that was holding it on underneath there. So now we're pretty much against there, we're against there. So it's just that things aren't perfectly square. You know, I have a flush trim router. I need to flush trim it. Let's do that. And because we have outlets everywhere, it's easy. In fact, I might as well just put it on one that's right in the middle here and run right along the whole board. So first, some safety gear. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Nice and even all the way across there. And then even where I had little dents in the bench, we now have dents in the top too, but that's okay. They're minor. A little dusty in here now. That's what we do, make some sawdust. So, let me take a look at that and plan out my next steps. So, next up on our list of things to do is get this here miter saw here. We've got our outlet. I know that I need 28 inches by 31 inches deep. So I'm going to get a sheet of melamine cut up for that and start building out some frame. I got to figure out how tall we need it. So we've got the saw here on a very level surface. I'm going to put a level right across it. And go ahead and measure right up to the bottom of that level. 4 3/16 is what we need. So that's what we're going to shoot for with our framing here. So I'm going to go ahead and get a couple pieces cut. So let's get these cut up. I've got our one measured out. The nice thing is we've got our Hercules here with the cut line, and we'll go ahead and cut that. I will end up right there, and I think that's about right. Let's get a couple more cut. Okay, let me show you where we're at on this real quick. So we are level across here, and this is only clamped in, it's not screwed in yet. We're level front to back. One of these boards you saw me make, I pocket hold that to the back one. That one's not even drilled yet, I just kind of pinched it in there to see how it would work. So I could just drive at it from the front here, but I think I'm going to pocket hole it. And I still may put one more crossbeam in the center, front to back or left to right. I don't know yet. It's probably a little overkill, but I'd rather have a little overkill than not enough. And I'm going to put another leg here because I am going to put some shelves down here for a later project. So I do want a leg there to put a crossbeam to the back wall for other reasons. So I think we're going to go ahead and start putting this together. I'm going to get a couple more pocket holes drilled, and I'll do those off camera, and then I think we'll get some in here, and then we'll cut our sheets, and we'll see how it actually fits and lines up. I did measure it back there. You can see I have a piece of plywood, and then another board with some tape on it to mimic the melamine, because I used that for a different part of this project, so I already have that storyboard. And then I measured to the square there, and we are dead on what I've measured the height of the miter saw to be. So ultimately what I want it to be is level with that bench. So let's go ahead and I'll do a couple things and we'll touch base here shortly. So interesting problem. I have this sheet of melamine that's between 19 and 20 inches wide. It's the offcut from what's on top of the bench here right now. And I'm going to rip it down to 28 inches wide. What I'm going to make out of it is two of them that are like 15 and a half or 19 and something smaller. Basically, I need 28 inches here and the depth, which is 31, 32 inches. I haven't decided yet. We're at 32 right now. We may take that down an inch to 31. We'll see here. In any case, it's 8 feet long. I can't rip it down on my table saw. My shop's only 13 feet wide. It's in the middle. I can't run it sideways. It's kind of dangerous. So what I think we can do here is move it over to the miter saw. Funny how much we would need a miter saw to build a miter saw station. Well, I should have had something here supporting that because we did break it a little bit. Now, not the end of the world because I can rip that down at the table saw because I don't need the full 19 inch. Basically need another one like that. We're going to cut that down at the table saw. So I'm going to rip that, make another one of these, try around there and see what it looks like. Really second guessing that last cut I made. Guessing it was a cross cut, but I don't know how that works with particle board. So it's really something I'm going to take and research, maybe go read some forums, post some stuff, see if I can find out if I should have been doing that, like with the fence lined up like that. Maybe I do need to build a crosscut sled. Maybe I should have marked it, put my miter gauge in, taken it across, built a crosscut sled, did it on the miter saw like I did before. So playing that over. Always good to be thinking, am I doing this right, am I not? I kind of hesitated, went to get the miter gauge and thought, let's finish this cut. But it is something I'm gonna have to look into. Maybe a comment if you know, even if I did it wrong, that's fine by me. I would rather learn and progress and not get hurt than keep making the same mistake over and over and end up hurt. So that's why I did stand off to the left. That way if it did kick back or anything, I was out of the way. But real quick where we're at. So got our plywood on top. We've got our melamine on top of that. So they will be screwed together. The plywood is probably gonna get glued to the frame. Just to help that stay a little bit better. The melamine, I know for a miter saw station I don't need a disposable or sacrificial top, but that's what this is. It's basically creating a sacrificial top from here and 8 feet that way, all of the same material, same thickness. So this way, if I ever made a change, I could change both and keep it all set up. So the frame is pretty much all clamped together. Some parts are screwed together where I needed it, but I was working on getting this leveled. So as of now, if I can show you here, this is level all the way across. And it doesn't catch. It was catching for a while, so I finally, to resolve that, adjustable feet would be a good way to go. I don't have any. So what I finally did is clamped another 2x4 here, and then I just shimmed it and shimmed it and shimmed it on the bottom until I got it to the height I needed where it was level. And then I unclamped my other two 2x4s and clamped them back in. Now I could screw them in. If this doesn't work for me, I'll just unscrew those 2x4s, cut some off the bottom, put an adjustable foot on it. But this should work. It's worked on most of my other bench. I mean, it's the same concept and it's dead even. So my assembly table, that might have leveling lag bolts on it actually. So, but in any case, here's where we're at. I'm gonna go ahead and get some screws in here to get these clamps off, and we'll go from there on what's next. A working miter station. So, okay, next up, I am going to, now that I know this is what we're gonna do for setup and everything, we're getting close to where I need to run that power. We've got everything framed up here pretty well. A lot of it is now screwed together. The base is all screwed together everywhere. So that part we're good on. Got an idea over here what I'm doing, clamped. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna move the saw and get some things clamped up. So I'm just gonna get working here.
A few moments later.
Okay, so tight bond 2 in a Gorilla Glue bottle. Okay. Right back on there. Covering the edge of this plywood, so we're going to mark it where we're putting screws so we don't put another one through that same spot. right back there. I've got some 3/4 inch brad nails. Really, I'm only using them because I don't have anything else I'd really use them on. I bought them for a planter project, and they're not good for the planter. I need 1 inch for those. So 1/2 inch into the wall here, I think will be plenty for these little thin pieces that are 1/4 inch thick. So. Do that when I moved it before, and I really should have. And I have no preconceived notions that this is gonna work, you know, that it's perfect. I'm just trying to see, okay, we're about 3.5. We're about 3.5, so I'm just trying to keep it relatively straight to the bench so that when I do my next steps, it's all in line. I think we're good there. I think it's time to mount this bench. She's in place. So we are at a point now where I really need to take this whole top off and do my next steps. What I've done now is I've taken this and marked the edge so that I can do this here, and I want to find out how far back that fence is from the edge of my melamine, and it is 5 3/4 inches. So if I want to be 1 inch off of there, we're going to put it at 5 3/4 inches off of there, and that's where we're going to run our T-track. So I am going with a fenceless design on my miter station, so I am going to put my T-track 1 inch off of my back fence, so that way anything small, the stop block will be wide enough, it'll cover that, but it's out far enough we can get everything else stopped. So the stop block is not here, it's on order, so by the time I release this video, it'll probably be here, so we'll see. Okay, in any case, we're going to take this apart and get our groove started. So I'm going to go set up the dado stack on the table saw. I'm going to run some test pieces through some other melamine I have right now and figure out our exact width and depth until I have it just right, and then we'll run the big piece through. So. Came out. The roller worked until it fell off the roller. That was where it went wrong with me. Looks nice. A little bit there where it kind of got off track maybe. I think we'll see if we can palm that in a little bit. That one fit really well. Let's catch you up to speed. Bench top is back on. I did route out a space for this ruler to sit flush. So basically just skimmed it. It's not perfect. I made mistakes along here. It's quite all right. My first time, I think a router with an edge guide would have worked pretty well, but I didn't have that size bit. Would have had to make a couple passes. The other thing is I have imperfections on my bench here that transferred to my top when I was doing the edge routing. So yeah. All in all, it will work perfectly fine, and it's just a few mistakes in it. So I've gone ahead and put the T-track in, and it goes all the way to about, we have a 1/2 inch from the end here. Let's show you that. Right here is a 1/2 inch where it doesn't meet, and I'm not going to cut a piece. We are 12 feet away from the miter saw at this point. I think we're okay. If anything, this is just a little space, this is where slides can go on and out, or we can put them on and off at the other end. So that'll work out well. I am going to go ahead and see how the tape measure fits. We're not going to put that down yet because we need to make some cuts and get it the right depth, but we'll do some work here, and I just want to see how it looks. So as you can see, we've got the T-track in, we've got the ruler laid out. I'm just taping it down now to get it in place. I've also cut a 15-inch block, which will be twofold. If I ever want to cut small pieces, I'll measure to like say 18 inches, put this block on there, put my other piece in, push it against the block, I can cut a 3-inch block. So, because I won't have any measuring here. So we'll write that on there to know how long that is. It's a little trick I learned off of Bourbon Law, Jason over there. I'm gonna go ahead and tape this down. Now one thing I do note, I have a stop block coming, but it's not here yet. Maybe it will be by the time I release the video. In any case, I'm gonna put this one down because I need to use this miter station. The stop block may be wider than this, and it has a measuring pointer, but that may need to be out here. So I may end up putting a second tape rule on here just for the stop block, wherever that would line up, but I don't know where that is right now. So, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and get this taped on, and we'll start the next part. Now that we got the T-track in and the ruler on, I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more steps here. I'm gonna get these, I'm gonna drill some holes, countersink some 1 5/8 screws, and just screw this right to this 2x top here. So that doesn't move around. I mean, it's not gonna move anyways, but like right here, I want this corner all the way down because that's what keeps it level with the miter saw here. So just like we did on the miter station, we're gonna do that, or on the miter saw platform itself, we're gonna do the whole bench. And then we're gonna go ahead and start putting some trim on this just to protect this edge. So we're actually gonna use some leftover scrap walnut I've got to do that. A couple other touches we may do is I may take some of this Gorilla clear tape and put it right over the tape measure just to preserve it a little longer. I read online once. And then I think I'm gonna run it right down this seam also, just to, even though I know that, you know, if it might catch, I just think maybe it'll help. Maybe. I'm gonna think about this one. So, but yeah, let's get some things countersunk and put down.
So at this point, I have a perfectly working miter station as you watch me drill that top in. I'm going to end the video here and put out a part 2 that will have the finishing touches and more advanced features. But at this point, it was a fully working miter station. Hit that like and subscribe button, please, and come back for the more advanced features. There's some neat things in this bench that you'll find once I add them here in the next video. Again, thanks for watching. Have a good day.